Hello class, my name is Jan Barr, and today I will be presenting my individual presentation on one of the poems we read in class this semester. The poem that I chose reminded me of a special person in my life who was my grandmother, but she deceased in 2002 caused by pulmonary embolism. The poem that I chose is Easter Wings by George Herbert. Easter Wings stood out because it has a connection with my grandmother. So I will start by reading the poem and then I will tell you why I feel like there was this connection between the two. Easter Wings. Lord, who createst man in wealth and store, though foolishly he lost the same, decaying more and more, till he became most poor with thee. Oh, let me rise, as larks harmoniously, and sing this day thy victories. Then shall the fall further the flight in me. My tender age and sorrow did begin, and still the sickness and shame. Thou didst so punish sin, that I became more sting. With thee let me combine and feel thy victory. For if I imp my wing in thine, affliction shall advance the flight in me. This poem, now that I've read it again, it kind of still reminds me more of why I chose it and why it did remind me of my grandmother. Um, I chose this grandmother. I'm sorry, I chose this poem because it got kind of gave me the idea of my grandmother. Typically, the first stanza stood out because it basically describes the downward spiral of human life, back and forth between hope and despair. My grandmother lived a wonderful life. She took care of me when I was little. She just was a all around perfect grandmother. Um, until she started drinking when she became divorced with her ex-husband. She was considered an alcoholic then and lived under stress and lost everything she owned. So typically I kind of related all of that within the first part of the poem. Like I said, she was all around a good person, and then she started being stressed, and she just her life just started falling apart. So going into the first part of the second part of the poem, my tender age and sorrow did begin, and still with sickness and shame. My grandmother will always acknowledge the fact that she was an alcoholic, and that's exactly what the first two lines in the second stanza state. The second part of the stanza simply shows how the character looks forward to better days. Exactly how my grandmother put all of her trust in God to have better days, to keep herself from drinking and just being so destructive in her life. Um, After a while, she stopped. The drinking slowly stopped, and she completely stopped. And in hopes, that she doesn't see death soon, but unfortunately she did, which is why she died of the pulmonary embolism. So, I really like this poem, and like I said, it did remind me of her and some of the things that she went through. It kind of does have similarity. It really does have similarities. But so that's my presentation, and I hope you like it. And take care. Thanks. Bye.